Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Connect to life.
We do have several listeners online tonight who are either dealing with parents who have Alzheimer's or who have dealt with that and are now past the final stage.
Connect to love.
Hey, Dad, that was so creepy that you told Melissa that you had sex in 8 years.
Creepy. I don't know what's
and
wrong
you should.
with
It was
my
like
life.
deer in the headlights. Blink. Like,
oh my God! No wonder he didn't show up to the parade afterwards. He was embarrassed.
Connect to happiness.
bumping and bumping, Linda.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you
Holy
really were.
cow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes
windows-
you just have to do that.
Yes.
There we
To
go.
blow it out sometimes.
Yeah. Like a Brazilian blowout was a Cuban blowout going on over there. That's going to put it out there for you people.
Connect with Connections, a nightly feature of GabNet. Join hosts Melissa Fox, Linda Nunez, Porn Star Pete, abetted by Lizzie Say What, and Mr. Punchline as they engage in a lively 2-hour romp that is bound to keep you happy and, yes, connected. Each show tackles a lifestyle or relationship topic relevant to people interested in improving themselves, dealing with the ups and downs of life, and those interested in spicing up their relationships. The gang, along with special guest hosts, share stories and connect the topics with humor to current events in entertainment, politics, culture, and even sports. So get connected, Mondays at 10 p.m. Eastern and Tuesday through Friday at 1 a.m. It's Connections, here on GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before. You love GabNet. You love the hosts and the citizen panels. In fact, you wish you could take them wherever you go. On your computer, log on to gabnet.net, where our stream is available around the clock. On your TV, GabNet is available on Roku with the same around-the-clock stream, plus all the latest episodes of GabNet programs, old favorites, videos, and tons of celebrity interviews. When you're mobile, we're on your iPhone or iPad with podcasts accessible via iTunes or Stitcher, and that same around-the-clock stream on TuneIn. If you don't want GabNet wherever you go, well, the hell with you. Go ahead, listen to your old-fashioned talk shows that do things in the same old predictable way. Meanwhile, the rest of us will be having fun listening to talk like you've never heard it before on GabNet.
You can listen to the Great American Broadcast Network for its engaging conversation or its entertaining hosts. Or you can just listen and play the GabNet drinking game. Is Phil Meyer right or wrong?
I was looking at the headlines. I guess Britain is going to die a strange death.
Wrong. Drink.
The Chinese are building up a drone warfare army ready to attack.
Wrong. Drink.
The financial health is overstated in the year 2000.
Wrong. Drink.
Bengali wants human remains. Now, I did read that article, and they want to talk to Hillary Clinton's aides.
Wrong. Drink. The Great American Broadcast Network. Come for the facts, or twist open a bottle and just have a good time. GabNet.net, a tune-in partner. Drink responsibly.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Are you getting tired of me singing? Hey everybody, it's Alex Bennett. It is the Ramble. We go until midnight Eastern Daylight Time on the right coast of America, and we will see our citizen panel, and you'll see video of that citizen panel. But we start off as we do most days with a guest. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we do this really every couple of weeks. We dial a number and we see what is on the other end. Here we go. Let me see. Call mobile. There we go. Okay. Wow, there we go. Wow.
Wait a minute, that is perfect timing. A man must be punctual. Take it from me, Chadwick Osgood Hamilton III, the boss of everything. Hello.
Hello. What was that all about?
I don't know. We're in the middle of packing stuff up. We're going nuts. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, this is Stephen Pearl, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everybody. This is my FM rich voice. Yes, buy this shit by Nabisco.
Yeah,
pretty good.
And
okay, how you doing?
Yeah, and you're like packing.
We're moving. The Bay Area rents have gotten obscene. They've driven us the fuck out of this place, and we're moving to Las Vegas. We already got
wait a minute. Well, first, let's take the rents, okay?
What's that?
Let's take the rents to begin with. With the rents, what did the rent go from to?
Usually from 1380 to now it's going to like 1900, and we're sick of it. We can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
For this broken down place with bad wiring and air conditioner that only works in one room, and toilets that only flush when they want to, and gravity that only works Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday afternoons. We're sick of it. Oh, yes, we forgot to pay our gravity bill, so shit is floating away now. We have to leave.
Well, my question is this, okay? Is why did they raise it that much, and can they? Aren't there laws about that?
There's no rent control here, and this landlord's a dick, and who shall remain nameless. And we've had it. We've been talking about Vegas for a while, and we looked at other places, and we saw one for $1,500 that, like, it had a sunken floor and a body under the bed. So, and we just said, fuck it, let's go to Vegas. And a friend of mine who owns properties there got us a really nice place for a little more than half of what we're playing here. Playing here too.
Yeah.
You play in Vegas, baby. You pay and you play.
Yeah,
but we just had it. I went there to look at the place, and we're going to be moving down there in 8 days. We've had it.
Now,
they're taking the stuff and the cats and everything.
Yeah, but my question is there work for you there?
More than there is here. What do I do here? I do I love the Throckmorton Theater, but I'm there twice or 3 times a year. They do our punchline shows like twice a year, and then they got one-nighter once in a great while, and that's about it. And I have friends there who say they want to get me on stage who are working there regularly. So, I'm not really just going there for the work. I'm just going there to live better. So we fucking at it, man.
Yeah.
I'm 62 now, so I go, well, I guess Vegas, this is where I'm going to die. Okay, I can deal with that.
Now, what does your significant other do? Are you married? Did you?
In God's eyes.
Okay,
well, I look at Sammy Davis as God, so I say in God's eyes, yes, we're married.
Because now you just assume that people aren't married before you assume they are married. Less people are getting married.
We're married. We're married enough.
Do you argue?
Oh, all the time. Our fights are epic.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Okay, then you're married.
Yeah, we're married. She has her room, I have my room. We do our own separate things. Once in a while, we get together. Yeah, we're married.
Yeah, well, no, that's kind of like what we have here. I have my man cave, which is the guest room.
There you go.
When guests come to stay, and I have a 4K TV set in there. I have all the stuff in there that I have in the bedroom, so that if she wants to watch her damn tennis in the bedroom, she can. Or
exactly. It's like our parents when they got older. Your father would do one thing, the mother would do another thing, and they got along.
Yeah.
So, she's listening to her music in her room. I'm I'm on Facebook and doing my thing in my room, and blah, blah, blah. Then we get together, and everybody's happy.
Well, you know what I've always said is nobody else has the right to define your relationship. Ooh, wow, we lost him. What happened there? Ooh. Here we'll call again. We'll call back again. There we go. It's ringing. There we go. We got disconnected. There we go.
Hung up, man. Hung up. I'm hung up. What happened?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's the mysterious gods.
I'm keeping my chin away from the phone so I don't hit anything.
Well, no, what I was going to say was, and this is my way of thinking about it, is nobody else should define what your relationship is. You know, what you decide.
Well, we love each other big time, and we get along fine, and I can't see living without her, and hopefully she kind of feels the same way. So, yeah, we're fine, you know.
Exactly.
Everything's good.
And the reason you're not married is not so you can walk out the next day if you feel like it, because you can do that anyway, even if you're married.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a little more financially rewarding if we don't do it legally. So let's put it that way.
The romantic sort that I am, my wife asked me to marry her on Leap Day, because supposedly women can ask guys on Leap Day, right? So she asked me, "Will you marry me?" And I said, "I think something to the effect of, why not?" You know,
why not? I got nothing. Let me check my calendar. Yeah, sure.
It was that romantic a notion for me. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Why not?
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably do that one day, but you know, if I don't keel over first. But things are good. So
now,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I say.
Let's talk about Las Vegas for a second, because I have.
In Las Vegas, yeah.
I've gone to Vegas for like 3 days because I went there when I lost my job at Live 105 to get away from the press and everything. We flew to Vegas and stayed there for 3 days. But I've had to spend upwards to 5 days there because I work for companies that work conventions, electronic companies that go there for the Consumer Electronics Show and so on. And 5 days I was going crazy. I was going squirrely.
Well, were you in a hotel near the casino or in the casino? That'll drive you nuts. Well, we got this nice little country club estate going on, so we're near the Strip. But you know, when you're there in our little neighborhood, you can't. It's like a little suburban neighborhood, very quiet, very nice. Yeah. And so you know, it's not like Vegas at all. The heat probably it'll be like 198 degrees, but still, you know, you can be anywhere. So it's like you're in a suburb anywhere. Yeah, so it's nice. It's quiet. It's away from the ding, ding, bling, bling, the zing, zing, and all that stuff, and all that stuff is there close by if you want it. So it'll be cool.
I hope you're not a gambler.
I'm too cheap to gamble. I despise alcohol, and I don't whore around. Vegas is perfect for me.
Yeah, well, if you whored around and you were a gambler and you drank, that
would kill me within a month.
That town would be toxic. Just toxic.
Of course, but I don't do any of that stuff. So, you know, and weed is legal there, and there are 24-hour dispensaries. Hello. My one vice is being serviced. Hello. So if I need to, like, get the little buzz at 4 in the morning and I don't have anything, which will never happen, I could just go somewhere.
California is pretty good that way now, though, too, isn't it? I mean, you have dispensaries.
Yeah. I don't think there's any 24-hour ones, but that's Vegas. But no, I would love to stay in California, but it's insane. It's the rent. The greed has driven a lot of good people out, and off we go to the next state. So I never thought I'd live in Nevada, but I guess we will.
Yeah. Well, everything in Vegas is 24-hour.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think nothing closes, does it?
No, nothing. No, nothing closes. Nothing. They got slot machines in the 7-Eleven. It's insane.
They have them at the airport. They want to get every penny they can out of you before you leave.
Exactly. They want to squeeze everything. Just let's see. People they're leaving. They come in happy on Friday and they leave on Sunday and Monday broke and pissed off.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Never ever play a slot machine at a grocery store.
Okay.
Well, because you see, the one thing about slot machines is you can set them for a certain amount of payout, right? Because they're mechanical. And so, therefore, the ones that are in the supermarkets and in the airports and stuff like that aren't there to get winners. The ones in the casinos are there to get winners. So people then, you hear the bells going off and everything else, and that jizzes you up to do the same thing,
Yep. Definitely. I got 2 heads of lettuce and a kumquat. I lost.
Yeah. Now, were you thinking about Vegas for a while?
For a while, yeah, for a year or two. So,
I was thinking about,
falling apart. What are we going to do?
I was thinking, why didn't you move further upstate in California? But you're thinking in terms of work, too, that there's work there for you.
Work and just being around where stuff is going on if I want to be near it. I don't want to move to Redding. I want to move to Eureka. I love California, but not that much, so I don't want to go up there.
I don't know. You know, if my wife weren't such a city rat, I would move out into the middle of nowhere. I'd be the fucking Unabomber. You know,
yeah.
I'd have my little.
Find a nice cinder block room and a bare light bulb above your head and write that manifesto.
I'd have my little hut, you know, and just to sit up there and look at the rest of the world and going, "You're fucked," you know.
I can do that. If I have Wi-Fi and weed, you know, I can live anywhere pretty much. But Vegas is cheap and nice, and I've got a really good place, and we'll be there for now.
You know, on a lot of levels, the Unabomber was right. You know,
except for on the killing people level, but other than that, yeah.
The antisocial aspect of his being is what the problem was. You know, the fact that he wanted to blow people up, that's not good. All right?
Yeah,
but the rest of it, if you even read the manifesto, and you can get through some of the craziness of the manifesto, he has a lot of things to say about technology. You know?
That's right.
And then he went and he lived in that little hut, stayed there till Friday, but Saturday night it was shut. Boom, boom, boom. Where did Robinson Crusoe go with Friday on Saturday night? Every Saturday night they would start into Rome, and by Sunday morning they'd come scurrying home. On this island live wild men with cannibal trimmings, and you know where there are wild men, there must be wild women. So where did Robinson Crusoe go with Friday on Saturday night?
Saturday night. Bah, 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 bah.
Now ask me how I know.
It was the first time I saw the Winter Garden Theater, that wonderful song. What was it?
Yeah, but the question is, well, why do I know that song so well?
I don't know. You probably grew up with it, humming it to people as they tried to beat the hell out of you for singing it.
My grandparents, when they died, left me their record collection, which were 78s. And my favorite 78 was a 1916 recording of Al Jolson singing "Where Did Robinson Crusoe Go with Friday on Saturday Night." I still have that record, and it's one of only 3 in the entire world.
Damn.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would frame that thing. I'd put it on a disc and then frame it.
And I love the in fact, I used to do pantomime, you know, where you would lip sync to records at school functions, and that was one of the records I did.
Yeah. And I got you on the road to show business.
And it is one of my favorite songs, because if you want to say, well, give me a typical, like, you know, teens song back in those days, from 1910 to 1920.
Yeah.
There it is.
Literally.
You know, that's the kind of song they wrote. Where did Robinson Crusoe go with Friday on Saturday night? Hey, I got a great song, Bob. What? Where did Robinson Crusoe go? Get this, with Friday on Saturday night. Get it?
Beautiful. Record it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Take it to the studio and...
I think it's going to be a hit, Bob.
Yeah. Gotta be a hit. Going to sell over 30 copies.
Yeah.
1916, that's a hit, baby.
We don't write songs like that anymore, you know?
No, there aren't any songs anymore. That's what they're writing now. There's no songs anymore.
You know, I don't mind rap and I don't mind hip-hop, you know, but there's so much bad rap and so much bad hip-hop that's the problem.
Sure.
You know?
I can't tell the difference between the good stuff and the bad stuff. I like my father when the Beatles came on. What is this crap?
Yeah.
I guess it's my turn to be the old guy.
So you think you're probably going to have a better shot in Vegas? I mean, first of all, the rent is, you know, but
the rent is much better. Our dollars can go further. We can live better. The air conditioning works. What else? Just, you know, if I can leap about on a few stages, that's cool too. I'm not looking to be a star or take the town over and work every night, but I do have several comedian friends there say, no, come on, we'll help you out. That'd be great. So, and I don't have to cross any bridges to do and pay any tolls. So,
Bub said that you're in a gated community?
Very gated, yes. San Quentin, but no, it's a gated community. But I gotta tell you, hey boy, that's a gated community.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying.
Hey, here's the net February.
I always used to make the joke about, you know, if you were in San Quentin, you could say, well, where'd you live last? Marin. You know, which is a very
Marin, gated community.
Which is a very, and then you just added something. I think you just say Marin, a gated community. You know,
gated community.
because people don't realize San Quentin is in one of the most what can we call it, upscale.
Oh, sure. You
places
go over
for-
that bridge. You see it to the left, and it looks really pretty and nice from a distance. You don't want to go in, but
Well, you know what it was? It started out as a prison ship, and then they then built out from the prison ship, and that's what you have today. It's a really old prison.
I didn't know that.
It's really disgusting because it's really old.
I never want to. It looks nice from the outside. It's like, whoa, that's like a modern doctor's office building or something.
Well, no, it kind of looks.
You don't want to go in. Not there, not there.
It kind of looks like a castle in a way.
Yeah, an evil castle.
Yeah.
Hey.
But, you know, as a kid, I would drive out to go to, like, Richmond or whatever. You would always pass by San Quentin, you know.
Yep.
And
wave to the boys. We're getting close to the other boys.
But I've been in there.
Oh, really?
Well, because I had this guy I knew, this guy who, remember Dean? Remember talking about Dean from San Quentin? He was a prisoner, and he was in there on death row.
Oh, Lord.
And he was there for killing 5 women with his bare hands. So I, as I said to people, they said, "How can you talk to him?" And I said, "I can relate to his crime."
Like the Kennison bit, I don't condone it, but I understand it. Exactly. But no, he crazy.
And I went in to see him, but I never asked him about the crimes. Never asked him about it.
Uh-huh.
What happened is I got to know this guy because he wrote me at the radio station saying I listen to you every day, and then I started writing him back, and then we started talking on the phone. And I never asked him about the crimes because I didn't want to know about the crimes. I didn't want to know about what he did or what got him on death row. And he said, you really don't have to ask. I'm not in here, as he put it, I'm not in here for traffic tickets. You know. So I was going with this girlfriend at the time, Xanthi. I think you may remember her. And she said, you're talking to a murderer. You're talking to somebody who committed some crime that got him on death row. Don't you want to find out what he did?
Again.
And I went, I don't want to know.
Oh, you're there.
Huh? Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right. You went silent. I thought we got cut off. Hello, I'm ready. I can hear you again.
But anyway, she said to me, don't you want to know what he did? And I said, well, I don't really want to know what he did because that's gonna like put a damper on how I feel about it.
Damper on our friendship. Yeah.
She said, come on, there's a library over there. Let's just go over and look up his name. And sure enough, one look up, Cosmopolitan Magazine or something like that. Red Book, I think. Red Book.
Red Book.
An article called A Kiss from My Killer. And it was about the one woman who got away from him. And then it was a story about him and all the crimes he had done. And he had done these 5 crimes of killing women over a period of 2 weeks. So he must have gotten really cranky, you know.
Yeah, something happened.
Something twisted somewhere.
Lord.
And I read this whole thing. And so the next time the phone rings and it's San Quentin, because you have to approve the call, right? You have a caller calling from
San Quentin.
I hung up. I couldn't talk to him. And then the next time he tried, about a week later, I answered the phone and I said, I got to admit something to you. I read an article about you. And when you called the last time, I didn't take the call because I didn't know what to do. And he says, I get that reaction. I said, but I feel...
he's probably used to it.
I said, I feel ashamed of myself because I befriended you as somebody who cares about somebody who's on death row and you know, wants to talk with you and so on. And I'm going against all that I believe by hanging up on you. So I just wanted you to know that. And from then on, we kept talking for a long time until I moved to New York, and then it was a little more difficult, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Crazy shit. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I want to be friends with a murderer.
I should write him. He's still on death row. You know, they haven't.
Lord, yeah. They haven't. It takes forever to kill these guys if they do it at all.
If they do it at all, yeah. But you know, I also the other thing that bothered me about my friendship with him is I got to kind of like him. You know, he was not a stupid guy. He was an intelligent guy. He just happened to kill people, right? And I felt that I didn't want to know somebody who someday was going to die on me. You know, that I knew for sure was going to die on me.
Yeah.
So that's, you know.
But then guys on death row can outlive us, so yeah. You never know.
But the other time I went out there, remember Carol Chessman? The Red Light Bandit.
Sure.
that
Let
case?
him live, let him live, let him live. The red light rapist.
He wrote a book about death row and wrote several books. And so a lot of people came to his defense because he didn't really kill anybody. What he did is, in those days, kidnapping was a capital crime. That happened after the Lindbergh thing. So he was convicted of taking, if he took somebody from one place, like you were in a parking lot, and by gunpoint or whatever, made him go somewhere else, that was kidnapping.
Yep.
And so they got him for kidnapping. And
they shouldn't have killed him. They should have kept him in jail for a very long time.
Well, he got a lot of stays, and then the final night of his execution, I was out there, and
wow, 1960.
He was, he was executed the next day. But Marlon Brando was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I walk up to Brando with my microphone and say, "Mr. Brando, can we talk with you?" And he went, "No." He was very, very
I'm
nice.
not here to do an interview. I'm here to support Cal Chessman. He shouldn't have raped people, but I don't think they should give him the gas change. Hey, you don't have any pie on you, do you? I love pie. Oh, God, I got to have some fucking pie.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brando. Good meeting.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Mr. Brando. Yeah. But anyway, so I was out there a couple of times. Oh, and then I also had a friend in high school who his father was the head librarian at San Quentin. Because I went to a school in San Anselmo, and so, it would be, he would go to that school. And the kid eventually got arrested, but he didn't get jailed because it turned out he was smuggling Chessman's books out of San Quentin.
Oh, yikes.
He was doing it. He would go in, see his father, and somehow there was something that went on where Chessman would get the books to him, and then he would send them off to the publisher, because they were wondering how the hell he was getting these books out, because they didn't want him writing about it.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Jesus, poor Carol Chessman. Well, he shouldn't have did what he did, but they shouldn't have gassed him for what he did.
Yeah, no, he'd be alive today. That wouldn't even be a capital crime. That would be, maybe 20.
Oh, yeah, sure. He'd do some major time, but he'd be in a show with Vince Champ and they'd form a comedy team. But other than that, he'd probably be breathing.
Oh, in those days, there were a lot of things they could execute you for that had nothing to do with murder or anything else.
Sure.
Kidnapping, automatic death penalty.
Sure.
Which was
being black on a Tuesday, that was bad.
That was bad too. That was a terrible idea, though. Saying that if you if you do this, you kidnap somebody, we're going to execute you. Okay?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do if you kidnap somebody? Are you going to keep them alive so they can be a witness?
No, you're going to kill them so nobody tells the tale.
So there's no amount of people that probably died as a result of being kidnapped. Somebody who said, "Bing, I can't keep him alive. He can witness who I am."
Oh God.
And so they just killed him rather than let them go. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy shit. So.
Yes. We used to love.
I made the human race. Keep me away from them. I'm moving to the desert.
If you were passing by San Quentin at like 10:30 on a Friday, and you saw a little puff of smoke coming out of the chimney, that was them venting the cyanide gas from the gas chamber.
Oh my God! I thought it was them. I thought it was the Pope deciding who's going to get raped next. But
well, Dean said to me that he one of the things he wrote for my website at the time, he said that one day he was just in the recreation area and he was leaning up against a pipe, and somebody said, "I wouldn't lean up against that." And they said, "Why?" He said, "That's where the gas leaves."
Yikes! Well, it ain't the Hilton, baby.
But this guy is like almost 7 feet tall, and he's in like a 6-foot cell, and it's been there for the last Gotta be.
Oh Lordy!
It's at least 25 years now.
Ooh, oh my God! I mean, they get used to it, I guess. I don't know. I never find out.
No, they've already buried him. That's basically.
Well, fuck him. Yeah. Ooh, God, 7 feet tall and a 6 foot.
Anyway, hey, listen, we've run out of time now. If I call you again, say in a couple of weeks, am I going to be talking to you in Vegas?
Most likely, yeah. We got to be out of here by the 8th, so we're moving on the 7th. So you'll be talking to me on the floor of my brand new living room. Yeah.
Okay.
Furnished by the Chicago Spiegel catalog, Chicago 60609. Back to you, Art.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
Thank you very much. We will still be talking. I will just be about 500 miles away, or whatever it is. But we will continue our interviews.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I got to turn on my light. Did the light go on? Yeah, it's on. Okay. It's that light back there. I had to turn it on. Hi, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the program. Welcome to our section of the program where we start talking with our citizens panel. In case you've never joined us before and you don't know what a citizen panel is, then I will tell you it is a group of people. Not just one, not just two, but it can be upwards to, about 10 other people talking and conversing with each other. And if you want to be part of that citizen panel, just go to gabnet.net. On the right-hand side of the page, there is a whole tutorial on how to use Skype and how to get on the citizen panel, including just a very handy little button you can push, and it will dial the Skype for you. It tells you how to download Skype, how to install it. It's very simple. The whole process is simple, and then you can join in the conversation with other people here. There's also a phone number on that page as well, that if you don't have Skype or you don't want to use Skype and you want to call us, you can call using that number, which is, hold on a second. It's not as much fun when you use the phone because you can't see the other people and they can't see you, but it's 347-352-0079. That's 347-352-0079. If you forget that number, no big deal. Just to go over to gabnet.net and there it is. And if you think you're going to miss any of the wonderful video on this show, the program is also on video on that page, broadcast live. Okay? So that's the rules. That's what we do. How you like the shirt, huh? I love the red. Boy, the red looks great on this. This is the new, a girlfriend came back from the U.S. Open today, out in Flushing Meadows or wherever that is, and she always brings me back a hat and a shirt. So here's my hat and here's my shirt, and this is the new logo for the U.S. Open. They changed it. Remember all the other hats I've worn? Yeah. But this is a new one. Oh, you know what I haven't done? If I want people to call me, I guess I should open the Skype line, right? Yeah, that's what I'll do that right now, so that people can call. Okay, the lines are now open. No wonder. I was sitting here going, why is nobody calling me? Well, they're not calling me because I didn't have the lines open. It's open now. The lines are open. So give me a call, okay, and we can talk to you. Boy, man, I'm telling you, my arm's killing me. Both arms are killing me. Because yesterday, girlfriend forced me to get my vaccination, not my vaccination, but my shot for what's the thing where you get the sores or whatever. I'm trying to remember what the thing is.
It's sort of like a vaccination.
No, a shot. It's a shot.
Yeah.
For it's the second of two for what I had it once.
Shingles.
Shingles. Yeah, my second shingles shot. It's a double shot of shingle shots.
I went to get the shingle shot, and they told me they were out of it.
Yeah, well, they go by through them fast. We had I was getting the computer fixed yesterday or looked at, and I'm there. She says, "Run over! You have to rush over to the drugstore and get the shot." And I'm going, "Oh God!" I'm in the middle of this whole thing, and now so then I had to take a cab back rather than take the subway, and then they also, so in this arm they gave me the shingles, and in this arm they gave me this year's flu shot. And in the middle of the night I woke up and boy, were my arms aching. It sounds like a joke.
Well, Yeah, I took my car in service, and they needed to keep it overnight because they found something. So what ended up happening was they don't have a shuttle anymore. Hey, Kevin. They call an Uber or a Lyft for you. I have never taken an Uber or a Lyft, and I tell you, it wasn't so bad. I get a text message, says the guy will be there in 4 minutes. This is your driver. This is his license number. This is his car. I get there. The guy greets me.
This is his style of rape.
Yeah, really. Yeah. He greets me. He says,
"What's that? What's that, Kevin? That you held up?"
A super prep.
Well, we'll talk to you about that in a minute.
Yeah. So the guy greets me. I get in. He says, "There's water here or mints, whatever you'd like." He takes me to the thing. It was seamless, comfortable, clean. I gave the guy a tip, but
but I've heard horror stories about them too.
I tell you, it was
because
if this experience was anything like what you normally get. It was excellent.
Yeah, but you don't know what you're getting, and also with the surge pricing, you don't know what you're going to be paying. You see, you didn't have to pay, right? Because the garage
right, Toyota paid,
but it's surge pricing, and so all of a sudden, a trip that normally would cost you, $10 by cab is $20 by Uber because it's surge time.
Yeah. Well. Did you hear there was a news thing today? It was your buddy Tucker, but they were talking about Bezos and Zucker and, mostly Bezos.
You mean
because
Zuckerberg.
I guess he's
You mean Zuckerberg.
No, not Zuckerberg. Zucker from CNN. But
Zucker. Okay.
Okay,
Jeff
it seems
Zucker.
as though
he's not from he's not Zucker. Is Zucker from CNN?
Yeah,
I guess he is CNN. Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Carlson?
yeah.
Tucker
So
Carlson?
what he was saying is that employees at Amazon are getting food stamps, and they're going through the same experiences that the Walmart employees are going through, and that they're collecting supplements and welfare because they're not making enough money.
And what did Amazon say?
Well, they haven't answered.
Oh, yes, they have.
What did they say?
They said, no, it's wrong. We pay them well over minimum wage, and this is a lie.
Well, there wasn't that didn't come up in the
the news segment you heard was obviously biased because they didn't give the other side.
Right. Well, they also talked about Uber and that the drivers weren't even making minimum wage, and a lot of them had to be subsidized by
hold on a second.
Hold
on a second. Uber operates like a taxi. You pick up a lot of fares, you make a lot of money. There's no such thing as minimum pay. There's no hourly wage at Uber.
What I'm just I'm telling you what I heard on the news segment.
Oh, but wait a minute. Is this the fake news you keep talking about?
No. This is the real news. The fake
I see.
News
I see. This isn't the fake news.
The fake news is what you watch.
So it's interesting that when something is a total fabrication, you go along with it, but when it isn't, it's fake news.
Let me ask you something. Here I am opening up a discussion of something that I heard.
Well, you're opening it up
for discussion.
You're
but
opening
you close your ears.
No, you're opening it up.
Close your eyes.
To begin with, you're opening it up
to the whole conversation.
You're opening it up way too early in the show. To begin with.
Well, I have other stuff for later.
What is this?
All right.
This isn't your show. It's my show.
Well, I watch the news. You don't, obviously. But,
what do you mean?
Well, you told me you don't.
Well, I know. I
told everybody you don't.
No, that was last year that I wasn't watching the news. I watch it now.
Oh, did you hear what happened last year? Oh, I guess you didn't hear what happened last year. Trump's the president.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. All right. So if you want to talk about this stuff later, let's talk about bowel prep.
Let's talk about bowel prep. And then we'll get to Amazon, which had a reply to that, but obviously Fox decided, or Tucker Carlson decided it wasn't a good story to report what they said. Okay,
yeah.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. Bowel prep. Are you going in for your colonoscopy tomorrow? Are you?
Yeah, in the morning.
In the morning. Now, have you taken the bowel prep yet?
I just finished dose 1.
Oh boy. Well, you're going to be leaving us every now and then.
Yeah, probably.
No, don't try to shit in the cup. Believe me, it takes more.
Oh, you don't want me to do what Ray did either and take you on location.
Oh, no. You want to be home. You want to be near a toilet. But here's my question to you. Did you ask the doctor about the magnesium citrate?
Well, I went that first time, and they tried to charge me $100 for this same box here.
Yeah,
$100 for this. And I went back and told them that they tried to charge me that much for it, and they said just stop by. And she reached down into the file cabinet and pulled one out and said, "Here for nothing."
Really?
Yeah.
Well, did you threaten them with anything, or they just?
No, I just went by and told them they tried to charge me that much, and she said, "Oh, I'll give you a sample," and it was the exact same thing.
They wanted to help flush you out, huh?
I guess he doesn't want to have nothing. No accidents on the table or whatever.
Well, usually it's cherry flavor or something. Is that rhubarb flavor or something? Is why
it tasted a little bit like orange, but it didn't last long enough for me to taste it. It just went down.
So you just, in other words, you didn't have to take like a gallon of this stuff. This isn't the thing where you take a whole gallon of it over
a bottle about like this.
Good,
and then
good.
You mix it with 16 ounces of water, and then you got to chug water for the next hour.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easier. But the magnesium citrate is just a little bottle, and you just down the bottle. I actually put it in ginger ale so that I could.
I don't know what this is. This is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have my glasses. I can't read it.
Well, I want to see when I want to see when this stuff hits. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
You're going to be running. Is there a bathroom nearby?
Yeah, right across the hall, about 10 feet.
About 10 feet. Okay. Well.
And I've been eating nothing but Jell-O all day, so it should be fun.
As soon as he has to go, Alex, start asking him a lot of questions.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. You said that you Jell-O today. What? I hope it wasn't red Jell-O. You can't do red Jell-O.
No. I kept to the green, and they told me green and orange would be okay.
Yeah, because red would mask what they see if there's a polyp there or something.
Yeah.
I just, I always found it disconcerting that my doctor was actually looking up my asshole and could tell what I had for dinner, or whatever. But no, actually, the last time he said to me, he said, "Boy," he said, "you really cleaned yourself out well." And I was so proud of myself.
Yeah.
Like it was a major.
That's what I'm hoping for.
It was a major.
For a clean tunnel.
Well, my wife has to go back for another colonoscopy because she wasn't clean enough. They found a lot of poop in there. So you want to get it.
When I had the cystoscopy, the guy told me that he could see the stuffed derma that I had during my bar mitzvah.
Well, the cystoscopy is the sissy colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've had a regular colonoscopy, haven't you? Really?
No, I poop in the and then you take a little bit of it on a stick.
Yeah,
and you put it in the thing.
That isn't as accurate as if you go in with a colonoscopy. And
Kaiser says they don't do a colonoscopy now until you're 65. So
that's idiotic.
Because
if your family had a history of colon cancer,
my family's dead.
You want to start doing it at 45. So I don't.
Well, my father died at 44, so he never. I don't know if there's a family history.
He never had time to get colon cancer. Yeah, the first time I went, I was 65, and I had a couple of polyps, but none of them were pre-cancer. Well, they were. I think it was one precancerous one, but that was about it. And then since then, I've had. I had one the last time they went in there. So they get rid of the polyp, and once they get rid of the polyp, that's it for colon cancer. It's literally the best thing you can do. But a sigmoidoscopy, I had one of those, and then they said, well, now you should go for the full colonoscopy because we don't go all the way up into the colon. We don't go to the area where a lot of the polyps are found.
I see.
Yeah, last one I had was at 50, so it's been 11 years. So.
Yeah, but every 10 years, they say. Approximately, yeah.
They seem to feel that the pooposcopy is an indicator of whether they should go in and do a colonoscopy.
Well, that I disagree with that. I really disagree with that. From everything I
Okay,
know.
Dr. Bennett?
No,
Yes.
I mean, I have probably one of the best gastroenterologists in town, and he's over at Mount Sinai and teaches over at Mount Sinai, and he said that if you don't have it, if you don't have any polyps, you don't need to come back for 5 years. This was when I was when I did the 70-year-old one. Okay.
Yeah.
Then when I did the one at 75 or something like that, they found one. And he said, the good news is that once you turn 75, you never do them anymore. But he said, we just might do one because we found a polyp in there, and we, just to be on the safe side, but that basically at 75, they stopped doing colonoscopies because they figure, you're going to be dead before, if you don't have a polyp, it's going to take a good 10 years before it develops into cancer. All right?
Yeah. And then you just suffer and shit in the bag for the rest of your life.
They figure if you're 75, you're probably going to be dead by 85, so why do a colonoscopy?
Yeah. But what happens if you live to 90?
Huh?
You live to 90 and you're suffering for 5 years.
Then you got a problem,
Yeah.
I mean, how would you like to be John McCain's mother? She's still alive. She's what, 106?
6? Yeah, I think so.
106? And her son just died. My God.
Now, does she live in Arizona?
I don't know.
Well, I think those kinds of climates. You were your interview with Stephen Pearl earlier. He's moving to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I think that the heat fries people. Now, maybe he won't go outside until nighttime. So it'll get down
to 90. What do you mean it fries
80.
people?
Well, that's look at how angry they are in the Middle East. All right. The people are angry. It's 120 degrees. They're killing each other.
Where did you get your science degree?
Well, in the same place you got your medical degree. But,
that means global warming is good,
I got my medical degree from, they stuck one up my ass.
Yeah, okay. And you enjoyed it.
Not really. I was out for the whole thing. That's the best part. The best part is the 2 seconds while the drug takes hold. Because they give you propofol. You understand what Michael Jackson.
That's what they gave me when I had my prostatectomy.
Right.
But I didn't get a high or a rush. I was just out.
And it's amazing, though, that when you wake up, it's like somebody edited out a certain period of your life.
Yeah.
It's like you go from this to the doctor looking in your face. And saying, yeah, you okay? Everything fine? Yeah, you're all over. We're all through,
Yeah, well, it's like going to sleep and no dream.
It kind of, yeah. But it's more, it's like editing out, like I found with the colonoscopy, they edited out 25 minutes of my life. I don't know what went on in that 25 minutes. I will never know what went on in that 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the rest of my life.
What did you do to me?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So they're going to put you out, Kevin, right?
I don't know. They didn't tell me. They said that they probably will keep me partially awake because I got CPAP and all that.
Yeah, it's funny. They when they put me out and they went to incubate me by putting a tube down my throat.
Incubate.
Yeah. Okay.
Incubating you would be that they put you under a
experience.
light and let you hatch.
So when they put me under the lights, what ended up happening was they said I started to flail, and because I use a CPAP as well, and so they said that I was tossing around the nurses even though I was out, and so they rather than do a tracheotomy, which they were considering, they put a trumpet, which is this 6-8 inch tube up my nose into my sinus cavity. And then they didn't have to stick the thing down my throat. I was very lucky that the anesthesiologist knew what he was doing.
Boy, folks, I hope you people are enjoying this discussion out there. If you're not, you could call.
Right.
Really?
I told him I had.
I'm thinking making this show only an hour every night, and then if you don't call within the first half hour, because
there you go.
Why should I sit here? Because now people are starting to call later on in the show, and I'm going, Why do I do the first? Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Yeah.
Bless you.
Why do I do the first hour or so? I may as well not. Just do an hour. You know.
Well, it keeps your, just like you found out on Sunday, it keeps your chops up.
Oh yeah, that kept my chops up on Sunday.
Oh yeah, I think that doing this.
Yeah, but if I never do it again, how did it keep my chops up? You know, if I do it every week, it keeps my chops up.
Well, you do this 4 nights a week, and for an hour and a half.
Yeah, but it's a waste. Look, I open the lines, and sometimes we're packed at the beginning. I don't know why. All of a sudden, boom, 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 people call. And then there are the nights like this where I'm looking at 2 people who I absolutely adore. Well, not fair, not fair. And who can't adore, Kevin, because he looks like Santa Claus.
Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus.
You kind of have a
I got my first call last night.
What? For Santa?
Yeah.
Well, is it early in this year? Is it coming in early, or is that?
Yeah, I think so. The guy left a message, but it was half gone, so I have to call him back.
I bet you're one of the most asked for Santas.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't push it a lot because I get tired doing it.
The kids can yank on your beard.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
And it won't come out. It won't fall off or anything like that.
Yeah.
How many phony Santas do you know out there with those fake beards?
I should charge like $5 a yank or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can yank it $5.
Yeah.
Well, just to finish the CPAP story.
Oh Jesus! There's nothing better than a good CPAP story.
Yeah, let the guy know.
The CPAP, by the way, for folks who don't know what a CPAP is, undoubtedly he snores
continuous
badly
air pressure.
He snores badly at night, and it wakes him up, and he has to wear this mask and sound like Darth Vader when he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Actually, I got a new machine. This thing is silent, and I use the pillows that just go right there, and they're comfortable compared to the mask. And I don't know what you're using, but I'm using a ResMed 10, and the thing is fantastic.
Oh, this is really, come on, everybody, call your friends to listen to this. You know how many
people
everything you ever
have
wanted to know
sleep
about
apnea?
CPAPs.
You know how many people have sleep apnea? A ton.
No, it is. There's a lot more people than you think.
Well,
yeah, even Ray Renati has sleep apnea.
To begin with, I think it's a
disease du jour.
Yeah, disease du jour. Yeah.
No, let me tell you. By
the way, where's Ray Renati? Where's Ray Renati been the last couple of nights?
I think he's got a play he's working on.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, and I think it's going to take place on the 15th of September. So I think they're rehearsing. Anyway, what was happening was I wasn't using the CPAP machine for a couple of years because I hated it, and everybody who uses them hates them. And I had an older one, I started.
This is really great.
Well, listen, you drive and you stop at a stop sign, you fall asleep with your foot on the brake. I was living about 30 minutes, 25 minutes away from my store, and I would have to pull over halfway and take a 15 or 20-minute nap just to make it home.
Something? If you keep up with this, I'm going to have to take a 10 or 15-minute nap just from the boredom.
Well, hey, this is like a public service announcement. Using that again. If you don't use it, you can have heart problems. There's all sorts of issues that arise.
You know how I stopped my snoring?
You lost weight.
I lost 55 pounds. My wife says I don't snore anymore.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, but you sleep in the other room.
No.
She snores.
She does. She does. Sometimes it's profound and other times it's just,
Well, I don't think it matters. The weight doesn't seem to matter with this stuff. Look at Ray Renati. He's a triathlete, or he was, and he's still in great shape. He exercises every day.
He said he tries to be an athlete.
He was a triathlete, and and so he's run a number of triathlons. I know he said he did the Ironman in Hawaii, And here's a guy that's in that kind of shape, even though he's getting on in years compared to where he was when he did that.
Yeah.
And he's got sleep apnea. I don't think it matters weight or the weight helps.
Well, doctors were like pushing this a lot, and it doesn't necessarily.
Maybe there's a lot of people that needed it.
Well, some people may not need it. They may have a slight snoring problem. They may stop breathing during the night once or twice a week or something like that, and that's not enough to indicate that you need it.
Before they prescribe one of these machines, they do something called a sleep study. They hook you up to a bunch of
I know, and then they say go to sleep. Yeah, sure.
Right.
My wife tried that. She couldn't go to sleep because of all the stuff that was hooked up to her.
Well, get her drunk, but
yeah, go ahead.
So what happens is they can determine how many times a night you stop breathing. And if it's over a certain threshold, that's when they prescribe the machine. So they're not just going to give you the machine without testing you to see if you need it.
Well, maybe I want something on my nose all night.
Yeah, cocaine.
I mean, don't I have a right to buy one without a prescription?
No.
You could hook it up to nitrous oxide.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be
good.
They've
got a hookup online that I could hook it up to oxygen, and but I don't need it. I like breathing oxygen.
By the way, you know what I received? I went to my door today. I opened it, and there was a package for me.
Yeah, what was that?
And I brought the package in, and I looked to see who it was from. It was from Albert Reynoso. I opened it up, and what was it? Remember the thing he talked about? He said, "You want this, boy." He said when he first he said Alex would really want this, and I said, "What is it?" And he told me, and I said, "I wouldn't want one of those if my life depended on it." Right? So he sent me one. Have you seen these things that put your socks on you?
Oh, those are great.
Wait a minute. No,
I haven't bought one yet.
Explain to me why you can't just take a sock and put it on your foot.
Because I'm 60 pounds overweight. Think about it.
So he sent me one of those, and I looked at it and I went, it looks so complicated to use. That I wouldn't even use it if I was. I don't know who would need this thing. What, fat people?
Well, it worked for me when I had my knee operated on because I couldn't bend down there.
Oh, okay.
And my left ankle, it's fused, so it helps. Sometimes with that.
Yeah.
I can put it on most of the time, but
I can see it if you have a medical condition, but if you're just fucking lazy, you don't deserve to own one of these things. So he sent me this thing.
It works pretty good, though.
As a thank you present for staying here for a week.
And it's got it's really complicated, but it's got a little hook on there, and if you work the hook right, you can pull your sock off. And somebody spent a lot of time inventing that damn thing.
Well, and I guess people buy them because he obviously went into a store to buy it because it said on the box "as seen on TV."
It is on TV. That's where I saw it.
Yeah, and you can order it on TV, but I think it was also in a store, and he found it, and there he went to all the trouble. I have to give him credit for a joke. He had to go to the post office. He had to pack the thing up. He had to mail it to me.
If you order it on TV, you can get a second one just for shipping and handling.
Yeah. It's just like $10.95.
It was a lot of money.
And the thing only costs $3.
Yeah. I think they got them at the Walmart, and you're standing there walking out the aisle or whatever.
So Walmart people need that.
Any of you losers out there going to actually call us tonight?
Yeah, Renee's having a ball on the chat with us.
Renee's on the chat, but she doesn't call.
Yeah.
Come on, Renee, get off the chat and
come on, Renee,
call us, okay?
Let's see, we got to...
Allison,
if you're... take my place when I head for the can.
Yeah, right. He's going to have to go to the bathroom a lot. We need somebody in there as a replacement. Allison called last night. Allison, if you're out there,
That was a good call.
Yeah, well, it was a wonderful call. Of a woman again, another. She joins your club. I don't remember her.
I should show you.
She remembers. The funny
me.
part is she remembers
Let's
me.
take a left turn. Did you watch the funeral today?
No.
Well, let me finish. She not only remembered me, and where we went to dinner, which I've told you about before on the show, and a lot of people didn't believe it existed, where you walk through an armoire, and it's like Narnia. You walk through an armoire, and there was a restaurant on the other side. And then she could identify certain parts of my anatomy. So I think she was the real deal. So anyway, thank you, Allison. Allison Goodman, I think, was her name.
Yeah.
Anyway, so where are we? Okay, so if nobody else is going to call, just be the two of us and him running off to the bathroom now. Do you feel like you have to go yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
You will.
Because it happens
sure.
all of a sudden,
And then about 2 o'clock in the morning, they got to have me take another one of them shots of that stuff. So
Yeah.
You mentioned the funeral. Now, I hadn't watched the funeral, but I understand
We're going from a colonoscopy to a funeral. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I figured we'd
Our
go.
tribute
we'd
to
go right
John
into the
McCain
dumper.
tonight contains talk about his colonoscopy. So,
and CPAP machines. Well, anyway, Sarah Palin was asked not to attend.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I wondered whether she was going to come or not.
Yeah, she wanted to, I guess, but she was actually asked by the family not to attend. I think that's
on the
pretty
same
shitty.
list as Trump.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
She was pretty loyal to McCain, and she never said anything disparaging about him.
And he didn't say anything disparaging about her. He just said, "I don't want that bitch at my funeral."
That's basically the deal. Yeah.
Yeah. He did. He planned this whole funeral.
Yeah.
About 6 months ago, he started planning it down to the last detail: who was going to speak, where, when, and how, what kind of music was going to be played, all of that. And so he has he pretty well, thought, came up with what his funeral was going to be like. And so far, it's going pretty good. I thought Biden was wonderful today.
I thought he was great.
He was, I think, amazing, and warm and real. I like Biden.
Yep.
I like him a lot.
I like the hell out of that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just like the guy.
Yeah, he's the kind of person you'd actually like to meet.
Yep.
He just has a warm quality about him. Look at Phil. Phil's holding his lip.
He can't say nothing bad about him.
It's not worth saying anything bad about anybody. I'd rather not.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like you don't talk bad about people.
Not really.
Yes, you do.
Who?
I mention some left winger, you'll always have some kind of dopey.
I may not agree with them, but they're entitled to their way of belief, and I'm not going to badmouth them. Now if a guy's a crook, like let's say Manafort, or somebody like that, a crook's a crook. And as far as I'm concerned, Cohen pled guilty, and these guys are no good, Republican or Democratic.
These are all people who the man you like considered to be people who are worthy of his of being part of his team.
Well, people, he considered him to be worthy of part of his team. I
wonder, where did he get these people from? Did he drain the swamp?
No, well, he had Cohen, for years, and Cohen obviously concealed his, was it debauchery? The guy was a thief. He lied on credit applications. He did a number of things. He thought he was above whatever he was doing. He thought he could get away with it.
Who, Manafort?
No, Cohen.
Cohen, I think. No, I think Manafort's the one that lied to banks.
Manafort did it too, but Manafort also hid money offshore, tried to use that offshore money to buy stupid
absolutely.
stuff.
This is the kind of person that Trump makes his campaign manager. Brilliant.
Hey,
brilliant.
Hillary is worse than all of them. But
well, how's she worse? How's she worse than that? Who on Hillary's team even comes to the scuzzy quality of a Cohn or a Manafort?
Well, you're not going to agree with my thoughts that she was responsible for Benghazi.
No. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. That's not the question. That's not the question I asked you.
Whitewater.
That's not the question I asked you.
Repeat the question.
Apparently, you don't hear the questions that are significant.
I hear significant questions, but my answer was my answer.
The question, once
don't
again,
understand
is
why it wasn't.
Tell me somebody that Hillary asked to help her with her campaign, who comes along with the low quality of a Manafort or a Cohn.
Okay. There was a number of people that suffered at the hands of Hillary, and possibly
no. Wait a minute. That is not the question, Phil.
Oh, okay. Uma Aberdeen and her boyfriend or her
There's
husband.
nothing wrong with Uma Aberdeen and her.
What about the husband?
The husband
Wiener.
was a
lowlife.
I don't know if I call him a lowlife. I'd say a person with a lot of problems.
Okay. Well, people don't do this stuff unless they have problems.
You feel sorry
you think they want to lie on purpose?
Well,
Well, wasn't he supposed to clean the
to begin with?
Aberdeen
Aberdeen was her assistant, and there's never been anything bad said about her, criminally or any other way. And who she marries is not a factor because he never had anything to do with Hillary's campaign.
You can come up with all of these things, but they were people that were around Hillary.
No. He wasn't around Hillary.
Yeah. And what about the foundation?
You just dismissed that.
The Clinton Foundation. The Clinton Foundation is
We're not talking about that's
corrupt.
not the question I asked, Phil.
Yeah.
Did you forget the question again?
Maybe I don't think that you ask a question.
I said that what
answer
kind of
I
a
give,
guy
you say, "No good."
has a person like Manafort run his campaign or Cohn be his personal lawyer, and then you said, well, how about Hillary? And I said, name people on Hillary's staff who are as bad as these people.
Well, I can't think of any.
Well, then shut the fuck up.
No, well, okay, Podesta.
Podesta, what's wrong?
Yeah, and what they did at the DNC and how they screwed your buddy Bernie, the socialist, out of a possible.
That's all politics. We can talk about the way that our president screwed Hillary out of the presidency after her getting 3 million more votes than he did.
I think it was the people in the Electoral College that she if you play a game, you have to play by the rules. If you don't play by the rules, you either get disqualified or you think that
these
you're
aren't
winning.
The rules. These aren't the rules I was taught in school. You know the rule I was taught in school? He who gets the most votes wins. That's what I heard.
But this is a republic. And in a republic, it's a representative republic. And this is the way our founding fathers set this up. And if you don't like it,
where
change
on the
it.
United States does it
go
say?
To Sweden.
Where does it say the Republic of the United States of America?
The Pledge of Allegiance.
No. Forget the Pledge of Allegiance because that is something that was written for a specific purpose.
I believe it's in the Constitution.
Well, go find it.
I'd have to read it.
Go find it.
Is it in the preamble?
I don't believe so.
If I go to find it,
I always hear this thing about we're a republic, and this is the way a republic. Well, then a republic sucks. So let's stop being a republic.
Well, yeah, it's been working fine for 225
years. If it didn't work fine, if it worked against some candidate you loved, you'd hate it.
Not necessarily. My candidates didn't get elected against Obama. They didn't get elected against Clinton. So, did I hate it? No. They became the president.
I mean, let's face it.
Was I giving them any money?
Obama won fair and square.
Yeah, and so did Trump. 270 is the thing. If they don't get 270, and you know what? Trump even said when he was in Indiana today that the press and everyone else was saying, you'll never see 270. There's no way you're going to win. The polls are against you. even the Hungarians. And, you know, he ended up getting plenty of electoral votes and enough to become the president.
And he got 3 million less votes. So 3 million people in America didn't want this guy, as opposed to the ones who wanted him. He won with a vast.
Those 3 million lived in 2 states.
They lived in 2
states.
Yes, and they played the table. That's what they did. And it's also the gerrymandering of congressional districts and things like that caused all of this to happen.
Trump didn't gerrymander anything. Trump
Republicans
played by the rules.
The Republicans
and Trump won.
did. Trump. Oh boy.
Come on, you got to admit it. He played by the rules.
He won by the system we have, but our system sucks.
Well, that's too bad. You know, that's the system we have. You know, it's okay. You don't have to like it, but you know, if you can't fault the guy for doing the right thing.
By the way, I'm going to say something right now. If nobody else calls this show tonight, I'm going to stop doing this show. Okay? You know, this is it for me. Tonight's the last night of this show if I don't see at least 3 more people before the end of the night here. Okay? Because I'm tired of this. You know, some nights you decide to call, and some nights you decide not to. Well, I don't hear from at least 3 more people. There will be no show tomorrow night and perhaps ever. Okay.
Oh, well, I was kind of hoping that one of these days you'd go to 1 day a week or something. You know, because you see, I fulfill my promises. I always keep a promise, and you know, I here every night because I said I'd be the best panelist.
How are you doing, Kevin?
Good.
You don't
hang in there.
You don't feel that urge to go yet?
Not yet.
Drink another bottle.
No.
I did good this morning. Let's just put it that way. So I'm not really feeling like I gotta go anywhere.
Well, you know, you're
laid down good this morning.
You're gonna go until the liquid is clear.
Yeah.
You know, it
sounds pretty shitty.
What happens to me when I get the trots from IBS? So, you know, join the club.
Well, the last time I did it, I don't want to get into that.
What happened last time?
The last time I did it, they had to do those enema things, and that was way back when, and it was like right now.
Well, enemas, do it right immediately.
Oh my God!
The cystoscopy, I believe I had to do a fleet enema.
Yeah.
Getting those in is worse than anything.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like when you've taken a dick up your ass, Phil.
But I've never done that.
That's well go get a garden hose for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Well, it's a small garden hose, but
real.
Jesus Christ, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
I can't even find it, let alone get
exactly.
it in.
So I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Love the cup.
What?
So I watched a few minutes of the U.S. Open. They had guys there like McEnroe. Man, he's getting older, and
he does the play-by-play.
Yeah, he's getting older.
Well, yes, we all are getting older. If you don't die, you keep getting older.
Yeah. He
what did
didn't
Marjorie
do his
think
shtick,
about
though.
that? What did Marjorie think about that girl that took her shirt off?
Oh, we were talking about that yesterday. To begin with, when they said she took her shirt off, I got to see this. You know,
it's just a damn sports bra.
It was a sports bra. What is everybody getting apoplectic about?
Nothing.
She realized that she had her oh, here comes Chris Ritter. Okay. Hello, Chris. How are you, Chris?
Good. How are you?
Yeah.
You saved the show, Chris.
Not yet. I need 2 more people. Yeah, 2 more people. But anyway, where was it?
You helped saving the show.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about the U.S. Open.
We were talking about the U.S. Open.
The shirt coming off.
Yeah, so all she did was she realized that she had her shirt, the overshirt, on backwards. So she simply took it off and put it on the right way. She had a sports bra on, and there is
she
nothing.
Even turned her back. So.
There's nothing more unsexy than a sports bra, okay?
Yeah.
And it's certainly not going to show anything because the idea of a sports bra is to keep you from bobbing up and down. It was so innocent, And guys, you know, when they're on that there and they're all sweaty and everything, have taken their shirts off right there, bare skin. You know,
doesn't the U.S. Open complain when they wear off-color clothes if it isn't white?
That's
Is that Wimbledon?
That's Wimbledon. Yeah, they like white, but they've changed it now. Obviously, what the hell is this?
I don't know. Your screen is showing
Chris,
Kevin and I.
Chris just shared his screen, I think.
Okay.
Get rid of that.
He just shared his screen.
Wait a minute. Get rid of that. What is that? Why?
Chris he's sharing a screen somewhere.
But how can
he?
he?
Okay. There we go.
Is it all better?
Because you've got the new Skype.
Oh, that lets you share screen?
Yeah.
If you hit that plus button down the bottom or something.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm still using the old Skype.
Yeah. It looked. And tomorrow's the day they were supposed to stop the Skype. But you know. Yeah, I could see what's happening. What happened there is you were able to also get your screen in there, and oh man, it's like weird. I was just looking at this because a couple of minutes late. But anyway, so I mean, I didn't think there was, you know, I didn't understand what the big hubbub was about it, and guys do it all the time, but they go down to bare skin. You know,
in the Olympics, there was a women's soccer player, a volleyball player, I think, that did the same thing.
Yeah, Brandy Chastain.
That's it, Chastain. And there was some hubbub about that, but
it's the same thing, though.
Well,
BFD.
Yeah.
Well, get a fucking life, people. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
and the thing is that the guy made a big deal out of it, and it didn't cost any points or anything. It just got into her head. It wasn't it was a penalty, and all he did is say that, you know, she did it. That's all it was.
Yeah. Now, Chris, are you down in Las Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
My friend Stephen Pearl is moving to Las Vegas.
What's the temperature like there during the summer? Are people baking?
Why do you
is it like
why
Saudi
when
Arabia?
people come on, do you suddenly do the interviewing?
Well, hey, it was what you and I were talking about.
Well, yeah, there's a lot more asphalt here than there was 40 years ago, so that raises the temperature about 3 degrees, and it's a basin anyway, and different parts of the valley are different temperatures, but it's pretty hot on the Strip, and the tourists, they learn quick to carry water everywhere.
Yeah,
so.
and you know, you don't go outside. You go inside the air-conditioned casinos and restaurants and things like that. Yeah.
And that tall building looks real close, but it's actually half a mile away or a mile away. They're fooled by the optical illusions.
And if you want to go out, there's not like a forest you can walk through. It's desert, for crying out loud.
Yeah, was Joshua Tree. Is that near?
No, that's in California.
That's about a 4-mile drive, but we do have a mountain that is completely surrounded by desert called Mount Charleston. And people do go up there and they beat the heat, but it's about a mile. It's about an hour and a half from the Strip, but it's near my house, so it's nice.
Okay, so and you can always go out to Hoover Dam. You know, that's
skiing.
always possible too.
So you're over an hour and a half away from the Strip?
No, I'm only about 30 minutes away.
We're joined by Vernon Nunn, by the way, who is our Morse code guy. Hello, Vernon. Are you there? Oh,
I don't see his picture.
Now he's
there.
there. Hello, Vernon. Are you there? Vernon?
He'll show up.
Well, yeah, I guess. Anyway.
But that counts as another person.
Does that count as another person?
He doesn't have to say anything. There's a square on the screen. You know.
Oh, I see. Are you there, Vernon? No, he looks like he's...
He might be having... Yeah.
He is.
I'm on my tablet, so I don't have a camera.
What? You're.
I'm on my tablet, so I don't have a camera tonight.
Oh, I see. You're on the tablet, but it's also breaking up like crazy.
He might have that auto microphone thing on.
No, that doesn't sound like.
Because it got really loud at the beginning.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Are you okay, Vernon? How things been?
I've been working too hard.
You've been working too hard? What do you do again? I'm trying to remember.
Well, besides being semi-retired, I work at Home Depot.
I see. And do they treat you well at Home Depot?
Yeah, for the most part, but today was a long day. I worked a full 8-hour shift, and then I was watching GabNet on gabnet.net and heard you say that if more people didn't show up, you weren't going to have the show tomorrow night. So.
Yeah, well, you've helped, and now we only need one more, and I will be a happy camper.
Yeah. So at Home Depot, is it true?
Oh,
that
here he goes. His interview again.
The beatings stop when the attitudes improve. Hey, you don't want? Okay, you do the interview then. I'll sit back. I'll watch you. I'll watch your work.
Yeah, I'd like to ask a few people some questions. I'm calling from Hawaii. Oh, they have lava there, don't they? Yeah.
Do they? Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that.
I scuba dove there once underwater. What?
One thing I don't like is the tax cuts that were given in December resulted in a windfall to the company, and they raised the starting pay for everybody by $1 an hour, but those who are already working there, they didn't get a raise at all.
So if you were, let's say you started before this and you were still at the starting wage, would they still have given you $1 more an hour, or did they keep those people at the same wage?
Kept them at the same wage.
So in other words, there are some people just coming on to Home Depot who are making $1 more than you.
Yes.
Well, what kind of idiots are they?
And I've been working there 2 years. I've been working there 2 years.
Wow. Have you gotten a raise? You gotten a raise in those 2 years?
I've gotten 2 40-cents an hour raises.
2 40 cents.
My mother-in-law's been working there for like 14 years and the same thing.
Wow. 40 cents an hour. Where are you going to spend all that money?
Hey, it's the same deal you get when you're signed up with Infinity or Comcast or AT&T, and the new guy gets the good rate, and you end up having to pay the increased rate. You know, you don't get the special on your cable.
Well, no, if you're already with them, they're giving an introductory deal. Like I have an introductory deal with Fios. But the thing is, in 2 years, if they want to raise what I'm paying, I'll just tell them I'll go to Spectrum. Fuck you.
Right.
You know, I mean, I do have a choice.
Well, Vernon can go to Lowe's, but
that's what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. So what all I'm saying is that it's the same thing that Home Depot was doing to Vernon, and comparison to the new hires that our cable companies have been doing to us. And they just figured out how to do it.
This brings us around to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, and I wanted to wait till later to really get into a discussion of it. And which you said that Amazon was being reviled for not having, not paying their people enough money that they have to go out and get government assistance supplements in order to live. And you believe this story because you saw it on Tucker Carlson.
I said I heard this story, and I was opening up as a conversation.
Then by telling this story, you become fake news.
Not necessarily. The guy says this is what the deal is. I open it up to discussion so we can discuss it.
And then
Maybe
I asked you,
did
you hear what Amazon had to say about it?
Yeah. Okay.
And they said, no, we pay well above a starting wage, well above what do you call it, minimum wage, and it's untrue that our people have to go get on the government dole in order to survive. But that's just another rumor they try to pass, like the one they were passing before that, Amazon, they get a cheap rate from the post office and therefore we're supporting Amazon. Well, the fact of the matter is that Amazon, like anybody, the post office, like anybody else, when they want Amazon's business, have to vie for that business. Yeah. And you have to come in with a bid. And the post office came in with a low enough bid in order to be one of the partners that existed there. So that's, so it wasn't a case of that all of a sudden they're paying a cheap wage and that the American public is paying for Amazon. No, Amazon has enough business, a massive amount of business, that they're going to make the post office a living. Which, if they didn't have Amazon right now, they'd be in a lot of trouble.
Well, you're a lefty, and you and your friends like redistribution of income. Well, how do you think about Bezos being the richest man on the planet right now? And he's got $150 billion. And $150 billion, does he need $150 billion? Do you guys want to redistribute his $150 billion?
First of all, Phil, he has $150 billion on paper, not in fact. Okay.
No,
wait. Let me finish.
Like
okay.
Phil.
Yeah. Secondly,
Phil.
yes,
Phil.
Vernon. Yeah.
How come you talk about redistribution of wealth, but you never talk about redistribution of wealth when the Republicans passed tax cuts for the rich? If that's not redistribution of wealth, I don't know what is.
I'm just asking about Bezos.
No, you see, now you're diverting.
Billion.
You just got asked.
The richest guy in the world.
You just got asked a question. Secondly, Bezos does not have to take out of his pocket to pay his employees. It comes from the company, and the company pays it. It has nothing to do with his personal wealth, Phil.
So you like to stick up for this guy?
No, I'm not sticking.
That's running around with $150 billion.
He's a right-wing creep, but I don't like to see somebody getting a lie thrown at him. Hello, Renee.
Tucker Carlson said he was left.
No, he's wrong. He's right-winger. His newspaper in
Aloha.
Washington. Yeah, I don't see a picture on you. What is the reason for that?
Yeah, there's a real reason for it. But if I tell you, you're just going to have a hissy fit. So I'm not telling you.
No, tell me.
All right. So on Monday, I had a chemical peel put on. So I made it to Costco yesterday, and today I'm a molting lizard. And you can't peel stuff off. So I had two people coming to the house today, and I'm like, you know what? Forgive me. I can't put makeup on because there's no way to cover off the peeling. So I look really bad. And Kevin, the timer is still going.
Tick tock, tick tock.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, we got 3 though with you. You're talking about Kevin's prep.
Waiting for him to go to the bathroom. We're waiting. We've got a timer on Kevin to go to the bathroom.
Our citizen panel, ladies and gentlemen, has small needs.
Can we? Just like we did with Ray's shopping cart, can we say Kevin's going to take another 5 minutes? Somebody else takes 7 minutes, until he has to run off. And
anyway,
it's 44 minutes so far.
Anyway, let me go back to another story that I'm amazed that Phil didn't pick up on, and that's the claim by conservatives. There he goes.
Even make 5 minutes.
Are you ready? Do you feel it?
Don't do that in the bottle.
Is there a grumbling?
Can you fit it in that bottle? Jesus.
That 16 ounces went in. 16 ounces would come out.
You know something? We do have a lot more people viewing the show tonight than we normally have, and I think part of the reason is they want to wait and see you run off to the bathroom.
Well, and then also, Alex, we were having a conversation on the Skype chat. We floated this idea a couple years ago, but now that more of your friends are moving to Vegas or interested in going to Vegas, isn't it time to have an Alex Bennett, including Marjorie? But isn't it time to have an Alex Bennett retreat or something in Las Vegas?
Oh, that we all go to Las Vegas?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to see us.
To begin with, my wife doesn't want to go to Las Vegas.
She used to say she did.
No, she didn't. No, she hates the idea of Las Vegas. Yeah.
Huh. Well, then she's going away in the near future, and you're going to have some time on your hands, right?
Well, she's going.
And you were thinking about going to San Francisco.
She's going to China in a week.
Right. So you go into San Francisco, and you guys all drive over to Vegas, which is only 8 hours, and we all, the rest of us.
Okay. My question is, do you think I really want to spend time with these people?
You with us? Do you have a problem with us?
He sees us 4 nights a week. He wants to go on vacation.
And I'm sure Chris would be happy to put us up at his place.
Plenty of room.
Plenty of room.
But and then Albert wants to go to Vegas, and so does his wife. Do they?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, because they were. Remember, he said he was going to be in Florida for a little while, and then they're floating the idea of maybe moving to Vegas.
Oh
so,
yeah, they did.
You
Say,
know,
he did
we
say
could probably
that.
get them to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, and Chris, I got to ask you this because I was talking about this to Stephen Pearl. I've been to Vegas for more than 3 days. I found 3 days is tolerable, okay? But after 3 days, I've gone for conventions, a Consumer Electronics Show, and I was part of a group of people who we were running stuff, booths there. And I found 5 days in Las Vegas was more than I could take. That by the end, I was getting squirrely. I had to get out of there. Now, would I feel differently if I lived there?
Well, when people live there, they tend to avoid the Strip unless they have to work on it, and they ideally don't want to work on it, so it sort of becomes its own sectional city, similar to a St. George, Utah, or another Mojave Desert type city. So it gets to be a little like Arizona, but you have that option of going to the Strip for some excellent sports or entertainment too. So there's a plus.
Do you go down to the Strip?
Yeah, when you move to Vegas, you become a tour guide for everyone you've ever met in a way, and you actually try to tailor. You don't want to hear people say that 3 days is all it takes, because that comes down to whether your tour guide was good or not, and whether they found the stuff that you specifically would like instead of what the hotel tries to sell you or the down the Strip tries to sell you.
Yeah,
I try to take people off the Strip 50% of the time. You try to get them over to Hoover Dam if that's what they like. You customize the trip for them, and they end up enjoying it more.
Hoover Dam's a lot of fun. I enjoyed that tour.
Engineers love it. It's like one of the wonders of the world to them. Kids might think it's boring.
I haven't walked across the walkway. It's up, right?
The walkway?
Yeah.
They have a new driveway, and you can walk. You've been able to walk across it for a long time now.
Yeah.
Right. I thought they had a new suspension going across the top of it. Was that for automobiles,
That's
so you don't have to
automobiles.
drive down?
Renee,
What? There's another
why would
level.
you
Wait a
wanna
minute. Hold
go
on a
there?
second. There's another level there now, or something.
Yeah, it's a huge overpass in a way, so you don't have to go slowly and crawl across the very top of the dam, which is, I think, a 2-lane highway.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nice if you've never been. It's really great to go on that 2-lane road. It really is. But if you've seen it, I'd like to see the view, because it's got to be a hell of a view from the new bridge. Have you been on it?
Do you know that?
No, I've seen the bridge from the dam, but and then you go on the lake and you do Lake Mead and all that.
Do you know that they concrete, there's so much concrete in Hoover Dam that I think maybe it wasn't till about a few years ago, whatever it was, 75 years later, that it finally completely cured, that the center was still curing. Yeah. Yeah, that's how
And
much.
the other thing about Vegas is you can go shoot all sorts of crazy, stupid guns. Right, Phil?
Yeah, well, they have that. You can race cars well over 100 miles an hour.
Yes, I know.
And there was a fatality, and you can also, you can take a little course, and you're allowed to handle heavy machinery like cherry pickers and earth movers. They have a lot of weird things for bachelor parties here like that are very, very macho.
Why would you want a cherry picker? Why would you want a cherry picker for a bachelor party?
Guys just like doing that. Those things where you get to handle those huge machines. Those huge trucks, tractors. But the people come up with strange ideas here, and they try things out here. There's the inventors in this country. They tend to come here and they try to monetize their inventions here. And of course we have the parachuting. You can take a little plane to the Grand Canyon and get back to the Strip the same day. So there's a lot of things a lot of weird things here. This is the place
the other thing that I heard a few years ago, Vegas changed the way it was trying to attract people. It suddenly decided it was going to try and attract families.
That was years ago.
And that's
why I moved in. And, that was 92, 93, Time Magazine.
Yeah.
But they figured out that people with kids don't spend money or gamble.
And that's why they just changed the way they were doing business again.
And if you hate your kids, you gamble away their college, but most people don't hate their kids, so it backfired a little bit.
Yeah.
Their kids hate them.
So they after that, they went after singles, and they said, come on in, and they went after international whales again.
By the way, I'm keeping an eye on this. Kevin was looking a little edgy.
51.53 seconds. Uh-oh. You might not. You got 9 more minutes.
He's got 10 feet. 10 feet.
I've been looking at the door.
So close,
Boy,
Kevin.
this would be a great. This would be a great bit for a like a reality show. You know, they used to have.
Phil, don't you have a water sound? Can't you put on a water trickle sound?
No,
for
that
him?
has nothing to. That will not make him go. That only makes you want to pee. What is that?
No, I don't have the water sound.
Oh, good trick.
Yeah, but that would only make him want to pee, not poop.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we all know.
Gets him out of the chair.
So anybody who's never been through this, at one point in time, it's all one. It's not. There's not 2 separate entities, and there's no bowel movement and urine release. It's all one huge flush. So stop telling him wrong, because it's going to not matter soon.
So how come you guys, just love to visit a thing that was named after a Republican? Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam.
Well, they did change it, at one point. It was originally Boulder Dam.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to Hoover Dam, and then I believe they went back to Boulder Dam again at some point. Is it Boulder Dam now, or is it Hoover, Chris?
Hoover. Yeah, it might have moved back and forth twice, but yeah.
Yeah.
You mean like Boulder, Colorado, kind of Boulder?
Yeah, Boulder Dam. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a little town there called Boulder City, and all the workers lived there, and they outlawed gambling because they didn't want them to go poor while they were building the dam.
That's the one thing about Las Vegas is I don't gamble. I rarely drink. Maybe a glass of wine, and there's not much.
But you can eat yourself stupid.
Yeah, I guess you could with cheap buffets. I mean,
well, no, wait a minute. Hold on a second. You haven't been to the good buffets. They have a buffet over at the what's the big fancy hotel at the Mirage, that's amazing, or it was at least amazing.
Maybe
what's it called?
I was at the wrong one. Maybe I was at the breakfast buffet or something.
No, but
I didn't see anything that was so amazing.
At the Mirage, the one I went to, is very good stuff.
They've got $50 buffets now.
Yeah,
Oh, disgusting!
And I know people from Palo Alto who they're foodies, and they come down to Vegas. They don't go to buffets, but they really do a really good job and spend lots of money on their extraordinary food. We have a lot of good chefs here. That wasn't
a lot of good chefs.
So, yeah.
I agree with him. Yeah.
I always play it safe. I just go to Ruth Chris. And then right around the corner from Ruth's Chris, there's a Moroccan place I like.
Yeah.
No, what's the name of the Rio bar or the Rio restaurant in the Mandalay, or is it over in... Anyway, there's a really hot Brazilian restaurant that just has incredible food. And I
Too
can't
much
remember.
food in those Brazilian restaurants. They keep coming around.
Yeah, no.
I mean, where they take the skewer thing.
Yeah. But so we're going to, instead of gamble our way through, I'm going to shop and eat, and Phil's going to eat.
But what can I do?
I'd rent a Harley and just drive out into the desert.
Well, what can I do? I'm on a diet, Although I could do low carb at those buffets because you can do all the meat stuff.
Yeah, they got plenty of roast beef.
Yeah, a lot of roast beef
and shrimp and
yeah. So I could do
lobster.
that. But outside of that, I don't gamble.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
And
we should go see who's
drink.
going to be there for shows.
Well, do
Maybe
I really?
Penn and Teller have you over?
Well,
when are they doing a show?
I could get free tickets to see Penn and Teller.
And you act like that's not a big deal. It's a big deal.
Do you know they've been there? I didn't realize this. They've been there, almost 25 years now?
They got here in 2001.
Yeah.
I believe 2001, and that's worked out great for them. And I think they have the record for the longest continuous show where they aren't rotating people in and out of Blueface or anything. So they've been here 17 years straight. They've been working here since the 80s off and on. You know, they come in. They used to come
I
in
know
for
they would. At
6
one
weeks
time,
and
they
stuff.
actually had a short residency at the MGM, if I'm not mistaken. I remember going there to catch up with them. But
They were
then they
at
moved.
Bally's
Then
for a
they
while.
then they moved into the Rio, and that's where they've been
Right.
ever since. You know.
I stayed at
And you
the,
know,
I stayed at the MGM once, and I looked outside, and you can see Hooters from there, and Bobby Slayton's name was on the marquee.
was on the Hooters. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I might even have a photo of that. The Rio Hotel.
Yeah, he
is
well he
nice
did a
because they
residency
have-
at Hooters, for about 6 months, 8 months, something like that.
The Rio bar has a very nice. The Rio Hotel has teppanyaki downstairs, and it has an incredible view from the upstairs bar.
Yeah,
do you think
because
of the wind?
from the upstairs bar
I
you can
love
see
that.
Paris. Oh no, wait a minute, that's the Hotel Paris, and that isn't the real Eiffel Tower. Well, wait a minute, there's New York. Oh no, wait a minute, that's New York,
That's,
New York.
fake.
You know
Well, do you prefer the
Empire
Encore?
State Building.
See the Empire.
what?
Yeah, New York. Oh, New York's roller coaster hurts. It's too small. It's too short. It's too tight. It's just a tough roller coaster.
Well, is the
People-
big sky thing still there? The
Yeah.
what's it called?
Stratosphere.
The Stratosphere.
Yeah.
I did a radio show from there when they opened the Stratosphere. And who walked by me while I was doing my show? Donald Trump.
Ugh.
The guy was taking him on a tour through the place. You know.
Did the roller coaster exist when it was first built?
Yeah, it had
Or
a
the
roller.
coaster
They put a
came later?
roller coaster on the top of the Stratosphere.
I've been on that.
It really.
I've never seen any of those
It would
things.
scare the shit out of me.
It was cool because it scares the shit out of you. But
Oh, I
thank
see.
you.
Well, you like to get this.
I've also jumped out of an airplane before. You want to go over there too?
You know something? I've always had. When people said, "Would you jump out of an airplane?" I said, "Yeah, I think I would." Yeah.
Great. We can do that in Vegas. Let's go.
Yeah. No.
I don't think I'd do that. Not because I'd be scared. It's just it's not a thing that I'm.
Well, in Las Vegas, Phil, you can bungee jump. They have an entire very safe area, and they'll strap you into the bungee, and you jump off
You
the
know,
top.
they always
and
say we have a
bring you
safe
back up.
area for bungee jumping, and then you hear about somebody dying bungee jumping. So I'm
Well,
not.
how could they possibly? I mean,
or-
seriously, you have a big mattress that lands on.
Or they
I
cut
see.
3/4 of the way through the cable and they go, "Hey, go."
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I had a friend who worked as a publicist for the MGM Grand, and they were always burying stories. They didn't want to get into the newspaper all the suicides that happen in hotel. This is a bit of a suicide capital of the world,
Oh, yeah.
I guess, because people come here to do one last Hail Mary pass to see if they can fix their problems, but a lot of people get one-way tickets to Vegas, and that's a story they never really put out there.
That's why the windows don't open.
Well,
Or
look
if
at the
they
guy who shot down at the crowd. Killed
Oh, my
150
goodness.
people. I mean, and
We're talking
he
about
didn't-
suicide, not killing people.
Well, he killed himself
Kill himself.
after he took down 150.
Oh,
Most
okay,
people-
we'll count
most
that
people
as a
don't wanna hurt
suicide.
the, hurt
Other
others, yeah.
people. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. You're not really brave if you're taking out other people with you, are you?
Well,
so
maybe.
the puppetry of
Do you think MGM will make an attraction out of those rooms and let people
heard-
shoot down at the crowd?
you heard what they did, right, Phil?
Well, what?
That's
They-
tasteful,
They
Phil.
sued. MGM.
I even
sued
noticed
the
Chris
victims.
wince on that one, Phil.
Yeah, MGM sued the victims of the shooting.
No.
Mirage. The Mirage, not the MGM.
No, it wasn't the Mirage.
shooting
Yes, it was the
MGM.
Mirage. The Mirage is
No.
where the guy shot from.
It was
No.
the MGM Mandalay.
It was the
They-
MGM.
they-
Mandalay
they-
Bay.
MGM.
Mandalay Bay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
So
MGM
it's-
own the Mandalay Bay?
Yeah, is the Mandalay Bay part of the MGM?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
But
the
It might be the better
Oh,
MGM hotel.
thank you. Thank
Well,
you.
look
thank
at
you,
Kevin. What is that?
What do we got?
That's an alarm?
1 hour and 1 minute. Good job, Kevin. Okay, come back when you can.
Oh, wait a
Don't
minute.
forget-
Oh.
Okay.
Hey, ladies
Who
and
won?
gentlemen, if you waited around to see when Kevin would have to hit the can because he is doing colonoscopy prep.
Is this a Kevin cam?
Oh no! Please don't take it with you.
Yes.
So here was the let's talk about the shooter a little bit, since it isn't talked about that much. I've stayed in that hotel. We've stayed in that configuration. We weren't on that wing, but we were on the wing facing the Las Vegas airport. So he actually had a suite that had 2 sets of windows from 2 different directions.
Didn't he have 2 suites?
No, 1 suite, big ass suite. Because he was on the end of the X, that one suite spears off a little bit. So on one side might be the living room and a sleeping area. The other side was like the sleeping room, another suite. So it was one big suite. He knocked off one window on one wing. He knocked off another window on the other wing. He put up gun sights on that one wing, and then he put gun sights in the window at the other wing. And he was just planning on going back and forth between the 2.
Did he knock the windows out because he didn't like the air conditioning?
Yeah.
Cute. Not cute enough, though. Because a lot of people...
Yeah, this is really something that's just rife for comedy, Phil.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's good timing.
There's a saying,
still
too
talk.
Soon. Anyway,
I really
and
wish they would
especially for a
talk.
guy like Chris, because he lives there, and people who live there were just they were absolutely horrified by this whole thing, right, Chris?
Well, they were. I mean, immediately people were giving blood the next day. There was lines everywhere to give blood, even though they had enough. And I was an old friend of mine is a nurse at one of the emergency rooms, and about 3 weeks later, he told me what his experience was working that night.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's something.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone, of course, is trying to psych profile the guy. They're questioning the police because the police weren't transparent and they couldn't be, or they weren't. There was some issues with what they didn't know how they weren't trained to stop the guy quick enough and so forth.
Well,
they also didn't have a lot of information.
Well, here's the problem with a situation like that. When nothing like this has ever happened before,
how do you train for it?
How do you train for it? I mean, you can't sit around training people for every possibility of something that might happen.
You mean a shooter at a high point?
I'm sure now everybody is trained.
From side to side?
Well, I'm sure
that screams Texas. That screams the Texas thingy.
No, but
that was 19 people.
But it would seem to me that the Las Vegas Police Department is now completely trained on how to handle something like this.
Yeah, but to say that we haven't seen this before is incorrect. We've seen it
No,
before.
but we have. But in this particular case, there were a particular set of circumstances in the way in which it was done, which was like doing it from a high window, across the street from this rather crowded venue.
Texas,
but he was bringing shit into
that was different because I was around for that in Houston when that happened.
Also.
And he was on the top of
he
the
was on
structure
top of a
shooting
tower,
people.
but he was shooting. He wasn't able to. It wasn't a huge crowd on the street below. Okay.
He also had like a bolt-action rifle.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
you
I mean,
can't take out that many people.
No, it wasn't as crowded or anything like that. This was an entirely different circumstance. You
mean a different weapon?
I mean, by the time the cops probably got to the room that he was in, he already killed 24 people. Because of just the massive amount of the crowd down there.
Yeah.
He could just shoot, and he was going to hit something.
Well, there was also the fact that for several days prior to this incident, he was bringing in tons of luggage into his suite, and no one seemed to suspect anything that it might be unusual. But I guess people do shows
all of these
shows.
situations after the fact are woulda, coulda, shoulda. But the fact is that when it's when you didn't, maybe they just didn't see it coming, and I can see every reason why they couldn't.
The one is I'm not sure. I think that's good enough. But 2, they actually took the guy who sold the tracer bullets and made him pay, right? They charged him with something.
He was making them illegally and selling them on the internet.
And that's where.
Yeah. I heard about that guy.
Yeah.
So he didn't buy a lot of ammo from him, but he bought enough to get the guy who was making them illegally in trouble.
Yeah.
Because a lot of his other ammo was all legally purchased from a couple places in Vegas, or is it just... No, it was a couple. I thought it was a couple places.
Oh, by the way, I got to say something about Vernon tonight, because Vernon is using his iPad. He isn't using a computer. And so we have this picture of Vernon smiling. And every time I look at it, I think that he's actually there. And it's the same smiling face at me, Vernon. You still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Vernon, I spent almost $1,000 on plywood last weekend at your store, so I'm pretty sure I'm keeping you afloat at this point.
Yeah, he's still getting
the plywood.
That means that next year he's going to get another 40-cent an hour raise.
Yeah.
You know. Here's the other story, Phil, that you missed completely, and that is because Fox was ginning it up like crazy. Was the story of Facebook and the fact that conservatives who work at Facebook feel they're working in a hostile environment.
Good. I didn't hear that, but I didn't know that they hired any conservatives at Facebook.
No, they do. They do. And Facebook,
mistake,
again, has said we respect all political opinions here. But, you can't account for individuals who, will be not nice to these people because of their politics. You can't delegate that, but they acted like it was a company policy. But it was just a bunch of conservatives bitching.
Whining.
Now, it's true that if you go into a group of lefties or liberals, and they make you look like, they try to make you look like you're evil. They try to make...
Well, there's a reason for that, Phil, because you are.
No. But
we don't ever have to.
Conservatives don't go to your rallies and throw rocks.
No, you know what they do? They go to rallies and they shoot people and they beat them up, and they do stuff like that. Because you got to remember, part of your people is the alt-right.
Yeah. I have to admit.
Right, but you guys got Antifada and what's that?
What does Antifada mean? What is it exactly? I've been hearing this term a lot lately, and I really
it's a group. I don't know what it means, but
anti-far left. I don't remember its code, but I can look it up.
Yeah, I don't think they're anti-far left. I think they're pro-far left.
I forget what it is. I'll go look.
Oh,
by the way, Puppetry of the Penis is playing in Las Vegas. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's two guys and two. Well, okay, whatever. You got to go find.
And
it.
Obviously, two penises.
I've lost enough weight to see mine. I don't need to go pay.
So you don't want to get up there on stage and show your penis off to everybody else? It's a show. It is a real show.
It's about tensile strength. Yeah.
Oh, is that like those Japanese guys that tie stuff to it and lift it and lift weights with it?
Yeah.
I think I'll pass.
Yeah, but
Antifada
movement. By the way, this is I've been watching lately. I've been watching BBC World, and the reason I'm doing that is because it's just such a relief not to hear about Trump every minute, And the big story they were on today is that there's a whole fascist movement in Germany. There are people displaying swastikas and doing the Hitler salute.
That'll get them in prison.
And what kicked them off this weekend, and the reason there were these demonstrations was because a Syrian and an Iranian, I think, killed a couple. And so, again, it's like this whole immigrant thing, this xenophobia that these people get.
And you're going to blame Trump for that, too?
Sure, why not?
Well, it's against the law in Germany to brandish a swastika, isn't it?
Yes, that's the other problem. They're thinking of prosecuting them because you're not allowed to. In fact, when I went to Germany years ago, I remember looking in souvenir stores, and they actually had Hitler, Nazi memorabilia, and wherever they had a swastika, they had to put a piece of tape over it so they wouldn't be displaying it.
Mm.
Okay, so it says short for military leftists or occasionally far left radical leftists. says generally known to be commit acts of violence towards the right side of the political spectrum.
Yes.
Well, I think
So it's not an
I
acronym.
think maybe I'll join them.
Yeah, I think you already have.
For somebody who's not going to bungee jump, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no bungee jumping in terrorism. Okay,
That's
true. You know.
Do they have hats that are made in China you can wear, or is that just?
No, that's just
Yeah,
Phil's
I wonder
side.
where this hat-
you know,
They got a school. They teach firebombing 101. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder where this hat from the U.S. Open today was made. Let's see here.
So, you know, it's how to recognize a racist. You look for the New Balance shoes. You look for the torch. You look for the, you know, that anti-woman look.
Where do you think this hat is from? Where was it made?
Taiwan.
I've
New
never seen this
Mexico.
on a hat before. Go ahead.
Korea.
No.
Domestic or
Bangladesh.
international? At least give us an
Bangladesh.
idea.
How did you get
there you go.
Bangladesh?
I know that a lot of cheap shit comes out of Bangladesh.
Really? Because this was a $30 hat. That was the price
Well,
tag on
yeah.
it was $30, and it comes from Bangladesh.
This was a $1,500 hat, and it was made in China.
Oh, really?
Oh boy, it sucks to be a Republican, doesn't it?
You know, I when you talk about
It was just NRA.
why,
you know.
why can't they make stuff in America? It just seems to me like the NRA would look to get America. I'm sure somebody makes caps here in
See
America.
this cap?
Yes.
It's made in the USA. See the
Is
American?
it really?
Yeah. See the American flag?
Oh,
Where
God.
did you get that from?
Donald
thought they
Trump.
were all,
I think that's
thought all
disrespectful of the American flag.
Well, it's a Donald Trump Cali Farm headwear. Oh wow! So FAME for farm, like French
Well,
word.
wait a minute, but is it a Donald Trump product?
This
French
was
word
this was from his campaign.
No, but was it a Donald Trump product?
No, it says Cali Fame headwear, and out of and they have a website, califame.com, CALIFAME.
Well, I will look that up and see.
It's in Carlson, California. It's a clothing.
Mm.
Oh, they said headwear. I'm sorry. I don't know if this is the actual
But
manufacturer.
this hat was made in
Yeah,
Bangladesh.
it's headwear, Cali Frame
And they
headwear.
charged $30 for this hat.
Really?
Yeah.
So, by the way,
This one was only 25,
Yeah.
and it was made in the United States.
hey, Phil, do you know what binary code is?
Yes,
Okay.
0, 1.
Yep.
You know, yeah.
Zeros and ones. So I had somebody code out "fuck you, Trump" in binary.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Well, I know
And
that
I stuck
Vernon can do that on Morse code.
And I stuck it in the Google
One
search.
of them downstairs.
Yeah.
Downstairs.
Next time you must call us from your room there,
Studio,
Vernon.
yeah.
Your studio.
I'm sorry your feet hurt, Vernon. 8 hours standing would suck.
Yep.
Yeah. Rough day. Anyway.
It is. Try working with people who don't know shit, asking you a whole bunch of questions about tools you don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, he's back.
Well, how did it go, Kevin? Quickly.
Oh, darn.
Really? Just emptied you right out, huh?
I'm hungry, damn it. I want a steak.
Yeah, well, what time's your colonoscopy tomorrow?
9:15 in the morning.
Well, by
it's been moved to 4 p.m.
by 10:30 you'll be able to have that steak. Anyway, hey, thanks everybody. I really appreciate the people who called when I yelled out that I wasn't going to ever do another show again if people didn't call.
Yeah, but you don't give about the shit about the people that called without being threatened.
He doesn't want to be treated the same way
I
as
give a
if he
shit
were
about
now.
Kevin.
Yeah.
In fact, Kevin gave a big shit about me. Anyway, thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Always good to talk to you, Vernon. Always good to talk to you, Phil and Chris Ritter, and Renee. Renee is always here from time to time. But Chris, call more often. I love you having you on the show. You contribute well to it. Anyway, everybody, why don't you give a big wave goodbye to everybody so they can see you? There we go. That's our citizen panel for tonight. I'm Alex Bennett. That's it. That's about all she wrote. Let me just hang up on everybody here, and do away with the Citizens panel because Jack Bishop needs it next on The Intersection. He comes next on Gabnet, followed at 1 o'clock in the morning by Connections, followed tomorrow night at 9:30 by Damian Chaplin and The Exchange. And then I'm back here again at 10 o'clock. Same time, same place in life, same station in life. I can't even remember my closing. And reminding you that if you see her, please tell her I love her, okay? Bye, everybody.